What do you got ready to go for us?
This is one of our newer ones. I think this is going to be, well, I don't know if this is going to be on the new one or not. Anyway, it's called Taste Your Tears. 1, 2, 3, 4. Up face down in a place I'd never seen. The early morning light filtered in through the blinds. I heard somebody showering in the washroom down the hall. I made my way towards it, afraid of what I'd find. Excuse me, I said to the figure in the stall. Can you tell me where I am, because I simply can't recall. A man pulled back the curtain and he gave me an address. I asked if we had met before, he said that we had not. I thanked him for his help and then I stumbled down the stairs and out onto the street where the sun was coming up. Confusedly I stumbled as I pulled at my tie and tried to get my bearings from behind my bleary eyes. The street sign loomed lonely at the far end of the block. I made my way towards it with my heart caught in my throat. Imagine my surprise as I was drawing up. I was in my neighborhood, not too far from home. Got to my building as the fog was giving way, and all was as I'd left it around 9 the prior day. My wife was distraught, but I had nothing to say. I climbed into bed, fully clothed, and tried to think. I strove to penetrate the haze of alcohol and pills, but all I could recall was going out for one more drink. My wife was turned toward the wall, crying in the dark, the sound that told the breaking of our hearts. Tim here, this is Chris here, not Tim. Let's skip this middle bit that we do and just go right to the ending bit, right?
All right.
Like the beginning. 1, 2, 3, 4. Let me taste your tears, what do they mean? And what portend, my dear, all of these things? Let me taste your tears, what do they mean? And what portend, my dear, all of these things?
Very nice, guys. Taste your tears.
Haley Poe is this ghost story you hear down south. It was the first ghost story I ever heard, like in kindergarten. I grew up in Georgia.
Okay.
The shisha out of me. Shisha. Chris and I agreed that would be our euphemism. Shisha. Scared the shisha out of me.
Shisha and the shisha.
Oh. Oh, shall we go?
Whenever you're ready.
Sorry, okay. Old Silas makes his way back home to his shack. The pain is in his belly and there's nothing in his sack. But in the reeds he hears the rustling of some nameless game. Brings a shotgun to his shoulder and carefully takes aim. The gun went off and Silas Core it bolted with a wail. And on the ground where it had stood there lay a curious tale. Old Silas grabbed the tail and ran back to his shack. He threw a pot over the stove and then stood up his catch. The two old hound dogs smelled the meal and ran out from under the porch. Silas smiled and tossed him a piece of tail that had been scorched. And when the meal was done, Silas lay back on his bed. But in the dead of night he heard a voice that softly said, "Taily-po, taily-po, all I want's my taily-po. Taily-po, taily-po, give me back my taily-po. Taily-po, taily-po, all I want's my taily-po. Taily-po, taily-po, give me back my taily-po." And Silas bolted up with a fright and he called out for his dogs. And braying loudly in the night they chased the sound of clattering claws. And later on Silas heard them come back from the swamp. Swore that only one returned when two had gone along. He settled back in for a rest and suddenly round four he heard the sound of dragging claws right at his front door. Taily-po, taily-po, all I want's my taily-po. Taily-po, taily-po, give me back my taily-po. Taily-po, taily-po, all I want's my taily-po. Taily-po, taily-po, give me back my taily-po. Silas called out for his dogs and he couldn't stop the chase. And anxiously he'd listen as the sounds began to fade. Later on he heard the sound of shuffling in the wood. When the claws clacked on the porch he finally understood that a man can't take what don't belong to him and get away. He heard the claws beside his head and braced himself for fate. Taily-po, taily-po, all I want's my taily-po. Taily-po, taily-po, give me back my taily-po. Taily-po, taily-po, all I want's my taily-po. Taily-po, taily-po, now I got my taily-po.